Hey guys, ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury live stream channel. How are you peoples today? How are you peoples today? What are you guys up to? What's going on? Give me the drum, give me the story. So what happened yesterday? Well, yesterday Patek did an advertisement in Fortune magazine. Very Swiss, very Swiss. Nobody else saw it. It was just an advertisement in Fortune magazine. They're about to release the Cubitus, basically a square Nautilus. Okie dokie. How did it get received in the community? We got some really nasty cunts in the chat there. Mr. Wilkinson, you know what? Why don't you just fuck off? What a fucking miserable cunt. Let's have a look who we got here. Have a good show. That's Big Al's Gold and Watches. John C's there. Man, we got some really nasty fikers here. You know what I mean? Really nasty. And I don't know what to say here. What can you say? Really nasty fikers. Yes, there are some nasty people. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's pretty vicious. And you know what? I come here on the show to make you guys happy. That's why I come here. I come here to make you guys happy. I don't come here to get abused. You know, I come here to have fun with you guys. I want to have fun. I want to have a laugh. But some of these people here, they get very serious, very nasty, very nasty. It's just, I get it. I get it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Okay, let's share a few links. Let's get a few links out here. Let's see what's happening today. We'll get a few links posted. I'm just posting some links. We'll see if we can get some quality panelists on. Pin the link. There we go. Message pinned. We got the link. The link is pinned. That's always a good start to the show, isn't it? We post a link. What else have we got happening today? We'll see if we can get the zeal in the house. It's very difficult to run a show without our zeal. Rolex, come and talk to me. He's been come on the stream and talk. That's it. We got invited Rolex on. Who else have we got here? Let's have a look who else I should invite on. I'll get HR man on. HR, he always loves to come on. We've got Jay Anthony. We'll send him an invite. He's always cool. I would like to hear Kesslowitz. He's a very much a Patek sort of guy. Hi, Paul. He's got the Subaru. Subaru? He's got the Subaru. I'd like to know how he is going there. He's got the Subaru. That's right, the Subaru. Let's have a look who else is here. Just send a few invites. We'll see what see if Clivers can come out and have a chat to us. He's always gives us a bit of a shtick about new things. What does Mark Hackman from the Watch Society, what does he think of this thing? Is it a disaster? What does he think? We'll see what send Mr. Goldberg an invite. He's always good for a chat. I'll just say hello to I hope you got some subscribers and views. Kind regards. We'll see how that's John Fade to Grey. He's very cool. He came on my stream and did an interview. Quite a nice guy. What's Marcelo up to? Let's get Marcelo up. Or Marcelo only does things, I don't know. Is Marcelo? I don't know. You know, Marcelo. I don't think JJ will be coming on my stream. Hofmeister. Let's get the Hofmeister on. Hofmeister, yes, sir. Let's get the Hofmeister. Who else can I get on here? That's probably the best. That's the best group, I'd say. That's it. That's the best group. Yeah, that's probably the main guys there. We'll get them on, see what they say. So what's going on? So Patek released this new watch. What is it like? It's always hard releasing something new. It's not easy. Believe you me, it's not easy. It's a bit like when Mercedes-Benz released the W140. You know what happens? So what happened was they kind of missed the mark. You know, I'll just bring this up on the screen here. It's like when Mercedes-Benz released the W140. It was over-engineered, overpriced, expensive. This was the S-Class. And it was this came out in the early 90s. Came out in 91. Unfortunately, expensive, technologically advanced car. It was way too much for the time. We got HR. Hello, HR. How are you? Talk to me.
Pal. I've got a story. Big boy. I was in work the last few days. And this one,
By the way, do you watch Suits at all? Do you watch Suits?
No, I don't, Arch. I don't.
Okay.
And one of my colleagues came over to me and said, "Hey, HR, I've got great news." And I thought he would bought a new watch or something. This fucker gets really, really excited and shows me an email. You know what he shows me, Paul? He shows me an email of confirmation of being on a wait list. Fight me dead.
What watch does he want to get?
It's some GMT. I think it's the black and grey one, whatever that's called.
Yes.
It's a 4-year wait. And he was really excited. Meanwhile, I'm there with the bluesy on. Bluesy.
What did he say about your bluesy?
He said he loved it, but he critiqued me because it had a scratch on already on the bracelet. I said, these watches are made for wearing. If I didn't want to wear it, you got to wear them, fuckers. Is that a bluesy, Arch? Lovely.
Bluesy.
So, yeah, he was excited for being on the wait list.
Mm.
And then the other, today, Arch, I was over in one of the other sites. And one of the guys I worked with had a Tudor Black Bay, the bronze one. I don't know much about Tudors, the bronze one. And I said, "Hey, that's a lovely watch. Great watch, that one." He didn't see I had a fucking bluesy on until later on in the day. And he didn't know what to say to me, Arch.
You can compliment a Tudor bronze. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Tudor's got a lot of potential.
And I did compliment it. I said it was really nice. I tried it on. But later, you know, I thought this fucker. Later on, Arch, he saw that I had a bluesy. I could see his eyes caressing it, looking at
No,
it.
but you don't understand. You don't. That's the way you do it. That's how these
Yeah, but he
rich
could have
folks
said,
do it.
he could have said that's a lovely bluesy, HR,
No,
but he
but it's
didn't.
superiority. You didn't need to say anything because you know the superiority. There's the pecking order. You don't need to say a thing.
But I just thought he could have said something like, "Look, Arch."
No,
At
but
the
it's
end of
like
the
when we
day,
had Kislowitz. Kislowitz had a Patek on. The guy was wearing a panda, right?
yeah.
Kislowitz had a perpetual calendar. The guy said, "Oh, these 30 or 40,000." He goes, "Oh no." He goes, "You mean less?" He goes, "Oh no, just very casual." You don't want to be a big noter. You be very, very subtle. That's what the upper classes of England do. They're very subtle. They don't make a big thing about it, right?
But Arch, my point is, look, if somebody had a Nautilus on, right, and I didn't see it, and they were praising my bluesy, then later on in the day, I saw they had a Nautilus. I would say that is an amazing watch. I wouldn't feel butthurt about it just because it's more expensive than mine. You know this, bud?
Look, the important thing is you made him feel good. You understand it's not about you, it's about other people. You made this guy feel loved. Okay, that's what the community's for. We make people feel loved in the Why do you think I come on here every day? Why do I come on here every day? Is it to make $40 a day? Is it to make my $40 a day?
$40 Lux.
No.
Yes, yeah.
No, I come on here to make people feel special. That's the reason I come here, is to make you feel special. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. I think you handled it very well. First, Nick Miller has got a good point here. The first rule is don't talk about it. The second rule is that you don't talk about your watch. Don't talk about it. They'll ask. And that's the whole thing. You just very, 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 very cleverly, you say nothing, okay?
I see.
You got to love some of the comments here. Urinator says Fatso comes on here out of love of unemployment. Fuck, you gotta laugh at some of these comments, don't you think?
I like the one from Danny Perfect. A bloke who cleaned my oven had a bluesy on.
Yeah, that's
what a joker.
What a joker. He's a joker, isn't he?
Hey Arch, I've got a bone to pick with you / Jakey. That fucker Jakey said I was too young to wear a bluesy. But the thing is, coming from Jakey, he went on a date, didn't go home with a girl, didn't get any action, and yet he's trying to put me down for wearing a bluesy.
Look, he's also got a day date. I don't think the day date is age appropriate for him. Look,
no.
You know, the funny thing is, let me say something to you, okay? I know what he paid for that day date. They're same price as a bluesy. It's similar money, okay? It's similar money. The bluesy and my bluesy and his day date are in cooey of each other, okay? So they're similar because it's a 36, okay?
And it's got the it's got that funky bracelet. And at the end of the day, Arch, I'm not taking advice.
I've seen it in live.
I'm not taking advice, Arch, from somebody with a green bezel. What were all the other colours out of stock? The black? Oh yes. Tell me something.
Let me say this to you, okay? Let me say this, okay? The thing is with these watches is, you know what? Certain watches give me some joy, okay? I love them. I love watches, okay? I really do. I really love watches, and I really find certain watches make me feel special. For me, I got to be totally honest with you. If I was reset, two Rolexes that you have are just fucking amazing. A bluesy and an Explorer 2.
I've still got
They're
the
not
date
hype
just.
watches. They're not hype.
I've still got the date just.
You know, I really think you should love that Datejust. I know you're saying, I want a day date. I want a day date. Look, you know what? Who's the avatar there? Who's that guy?
It's me, Arch. I'm in the army.
Okay. I got to be honest with you. I think the Datejust is perfect for you. If you get a day date, and it's always good to have a dream, right? It's nasty. Dirk Diggler says poor people vacation in Jamaica.
Oh, it's all right. Me and Dirk have some good banter. At the end of the day, Dirk has changed. He's changed. I remember the good old days when Dirk was nice. Dirk, you've changed, Dirky. But Arch, I don't have any love for the Datejust. I want to flick that fucker because I don't like the shoulders on it. Bless you. They're too thin. I want manly lugs. I want manly shoulders like the Explorer 2. That's a behemoth of a watch. The presence is brilliant.
That three-piece set you got is perfect. Let me get a tissue. Could you cover me for 1 minute?
Of course. I'll look at the peanut gallery. Right. Jock is going to have a meltdown from HR Avatar. The thing is, though, that Dirk Diggler, you need to remember, Jock says he was in the army. No, he wasn't. I've got receipts that all he was doing the laundry for the other boys when they were in the showers. I've got receipts. Don't make me pull the clip up. Jock, if you're reading this, jump on. I'm telling you. He was never on the front line. He was doing the laundries and getting the boys drinks. Oh, Jockey, can I have a Coca-Cola? Yeah, okay. I'm telling you, I've got the receipts. Don't make me pull them up. And Jock, if you're there, jump on and we can debate it. That's all you were doing, Jock. You were the laundry boy. Jock said he was SAS. What? Sassy and sarcastic. Yes.
Yes.
Jock?
Yes. Behemoth. It's a behemoth of a watch.
The comms. Vicious, nasty HR. Yep, that is me. Was Jocko...
At least you jump on. I got to have
Exactly.
it to you, HR. You come on and fucking save the show. What? I'd be floundering without you.
Thank you, Arch. No one respects me in the chat, but it is what it is.
What I'm going to do to celebrate you coming on?
You're going to give me a wrench?
I'm going to have a little whiskey. I'm going to have a little whiskey to celebrate you coming on.
What was it? Glen Fiddler, or whatever it's called?
This is a Macallan 12.
Nice.
That's a very nice whiskey. It's got a hint of honey, citrus, and ginger.
Arch, make sure you do the lizard lick. Oh yeah,
lizard lick. It's a beautiful whiskey. That is really. That's just a quality. You can't get. That's fucking beautiful. Cheers.
So Arch,
thanks for coming on.
Cheers, Paul. I'm going over to Malaysia soon. You know what? I've bought my friend who's getting married. I bought him 4 tins of biscuits from Fortnum and Mason, and a nice tea set.
Guess what? Fortnum and Mason.
Yes.
Oh, no, I got the Laduri chocolates here. The Laduri.
What's Laduri, Paul?
It's like a premium brand of chocolate. But Fortnum and Mason, yes, go on. Good.
I've got him some of the really nice biscuits there. So 4 large tubes and a tea set as well. But he said, Arch, I've got to be honest, he said, HR, you coming over is my wedding gift. Isn't that nice? What a great guy.
No, that's exactly it, man. I totally agree with it, man. I think jokes is, look, all things aside, I got to tell you something, man. The YouTube business, it is tough at times. It's hard to get the punters laughing and rolling and you know, but I've got to tell you something, man. Why do I come on these streams? Why do I do this shit? Why? It's to make people happy.
And what do you see the future of the channel?
The future of the channel is, look, I'll be honest with you. Things have changed. Things have changed. If it isn't viable, right? I will stream 1 to 2 hours a day, and we'll cut it back to 5 days a week.
Can I give you a tip, Arch? Like, I think you should be promoting the merch, because I, for one, I'm a big Arch fan. I want some merch, but it's all stick aside, it's very expensive. Is there any way the price can be lowered so it's more accessible, or what do you think?
Look, you know what? The merch has been that was an idea. Do the merch. Merch was not that successful. That's okay. It's done by, it's made on demand. It's printed on demand, so it can be a bit. I know exactly what you're saying. By the time you factor in postage and this and that, yeah, it can be. I am sorry. Okay, I am
No, don't
sorry.
apologise, Arch. You can only try your best. But how do we get the channel
Mhm.
back up? How do we get it going again? What do we do? What's the plan, Arch? We need a game
The
plan here.
best
I
thing
don't
is
want you getting a job.
you come on and push it. That's fucking amazing.
The punters hate me, Arch. Apart from Turkey.
I'm gonna see if we can get some people on. Come on, just jump on the stream and have a chat to me. This is what we want to do: is talk watches.
I warm the stream up.
Yeah, warm the stream up. That's
Warm
what we
it
want
up,
to
big
do.
boy. Arch, I gotta be honest, there's some vicious punters here.
What's he saying here? He says, Arch Andreas. He says, Arch, you can't get any look lazier. There are finite numbers. I don't know what's he talking about.
Arch, have you heard from Loudmouth Tim recently? I miss him.
No, I haven't. I quite like the guy.
Are you still thinking about getting back into the IT jobs?
No,
because the reason I say that, some of the IT guys at work think their jobs are going to be taken over by AI. So there's going to be redundancies.
Tell me this. Realistically. 52-year-old guy.
Yeah.
He's been out of the contracting field for 10 years, just over 10 years, okay?
Yeah.
Do I have much of a chance of going back to IT contracting with a 10-year gap in my resume?
Does the person you're speaking about have horns, meaning a disability?
It's me. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I think it's very difficult to get into.
Don't waste your time. You're fucked. You look. There's Windows 11 coming in. You don't know the latest coding. You don't know everything. You're done. You pick another industry there, big boy.
Yeah.
But it's nice thinking about. What about going back to Uber and what was it, Velvet Label, whatever that thing was called, when you give out your services? I still think you're good looking, Arch. You could do it.
It doesn't pay what it used to pay.
Okay. What about Uber?
An acquired taste. Art, stick with YouTube. Oh, we've got a comment from M2 Carlino. No, Art, stop wasting your time. You're out of it. Too long. Just retire early and spend less.
Arch, can you pull up One Day Retro's comment? This guy's actually quite funny.
Okay. Programmer is going to be replaced. I'm not a programmer. I'm an IT systems guy. I'm a tech support guy. Desktop support, server support. HR is going to be replaced by a Casio calculator watch. Go on, big boy.
A Casio calculator watch? One Day Retro. What do you think I do all day? Just use a calculator or something there.
And
come on, big boy.
AC3, you had no clue about IT when in IT, and now no chance.
Arch, maybe you should start doing TED Talks. How to do the least amount of work.
Media, maybe a used car salesman. I actually wanted to sell cars. You know that?
Yeah, I mean, you got the bluesy for it.
What do you think?
I think you need to make this YouTube thing work, Arch, or maybe I don't know, scam people like TPG.
Yes.
But Arch, why aren't you going to Watch Time New York? I mean, could you not make some money out of that? I know you just don't want to go, but could you make enough money to make it profitable and worthwhile going?
I've got to be totally honest with you, HR. It's a good question. The reason I came to Hong Kong was the trip is so long going to New York. I thought I'd go to Hong Kong, then I'd fly from Hong Kong to New York.
Mm.
And the problem is, Arch, are you wearing pants this morning? I got these no, I'm not actually. I've got these underpants on, long underpants on. They were sleeping pants, so that's what I'm wearing this morning.
Long johns.
Yeah. Let me say this to you.
Mm.
I realized America, it's 20 hours in a plane, and it's also 500 Australian a night for accommodation. I'm not making that money.
Oh, okay, Arch. How many watches are on tick? How many have you got outstanding payments?
I just made US to Sydney. I just made a US to Sydney flight. It's damn tiring. A lot. Yeah, exactly. It is damn tiring. Actually, I've actually paid for all my watches. I owe no money.
Okay, that's good, Arch.
I did owe a little bit of money on some on the Explorer 2, but I used some HELOC money to pay out what I owed and I got the watch back. Okay.
So your house with your wife, is that paid off, or not because you've got a HELOC?
No. That's got a mortgage on it.
Ah, shit. Okay.
We got a super chat. First super chat from Andreas, $5. Arch, you here? You go for a super chat. Here you go for a super chat. We'll need to leave to catch the Cleveland versus New York baseball pennant series. Okay, no worries. Hey, Andreas, thank you so much for that. Marcus Mandel, HELOC is the way, and acquired taste flights are too expensive. Yes, they are fucking expensive. And that's the guy who said he'd just flown from US to Sydney. You betcha. They're fucking ridiculous. We got Basil's Beazles, $2. Arts, get a new fridge and sell ad space. Thank you. What's this? This Doc's report. He's a fucking nasty villain, that guy. He's just nasty. Look, the reality is Ice Cubitus, $2. Show real big boy Super Cubitus and a Calatrava choice.
Go on, show me and I'll decide.
What I was saying before is this is what happened to Mercedes-Benz. They released the wrong car at the wrong time, and it kind of fumbled. Okay? Now, Patek is doing the same thing. Let's have a look. Let's refresh our searches and see what comes up here. Patek Cubitus. What comes up this time? Let's have a look. We've got, okay, Luxury Bazaar. That's an article. It's an old article. Where have we got any talk of it? Let's have a look. Is there any press? Is there any news articles? Watch Maestro. Okay, I never even heard of Watch Maestro. It's some blog.
Go on the images, Arch. I've got to be honest, I'm a big fan.
You are a big fan?
Yes, but I haven't seen the bracelet yet. Is it leather?
Square. It's a square.
And what's the bracelet? Is it leather or is it steel?
It's going to be a variety, I believe. A variety of
Put it up,
steel.
Arch. Make it big.
Well, this is the only picture we've got. This is the advertisement that is the one that captures the world. Look at this. That's the advertisement. This young guy. I mean, if you were in HR, I just want to fire him.
Ooh.
He's barely. This guy's barely able to grow a beard.
He doesn't need to. He's got a Cubitus, Arch. But
Got a
Arch, look, I've got to
Cubitus.
be honest. Patek, they're trying something new. I think this is lovely. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, Patek could release a triangle watch. It's got Patek branded on. The fuckers are gonna love it and buy it, Arch.
Yeah. Good point.
I think this is nice. This is better than a Calatrava, big boy.
No.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, I tell you why I say that you're wrong. See, I find the Patek 6119, that's their most recent Calatrava. Look at this. That is fucking. That's a beautiful watch. Look at this.
Arch,
it's fucking.
Arch, this
beautiful.
is an old man watch. This is an old man watch. How am I supposed to wash the dishes? It's not waterproof.
How do you think? How long do you think it's saved? You got to keep saving to buy one of these fucking things.
I don't know because I don't want it.
Look at this. That's
look at it.
Beautiful.
It's got a leather strap. What the fuck?
I love it. Now let's see if Patek. See, they haven't even updated their site yet to reflect this new release. That's what is very interesting.
Arch, what's that one called? Is it the 24 in the middle next to the Nautilus?
That's the ladies one. That's the ladies. That's a ladies.
That looks like a shitter.
Look, it is what it is. But I've got to be totally honest with you. These watches here, Patek is got some beautiful stuff. Patek is Patek. Patek is this is expensive stuff. You know what I mean? Expensive.
Arch, I only like the Nautilus and the Aquanaut because I'm a hype beast. I'm a hype baby.
Here we go. We've got CB. $5. Thank you, CB. And CB says, Archie is not wearing clothes as he is ready for action quicker, like the girls in the windows in Amsterdam. Phew, that's a bit nasty, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you've got a super chat, big boy, from Tan.
Ice Cubitus, $2. Show our 3 gondolas that would suit him nicely. Show HR 3 gondolas that would suit him nicely. So let's have a look at the gondola site here. Let's have a look. Gondolas. Look at this. Gondolas.
The gondola.
See, I don't think any of that fucking nut. Well, these are for ladies, aren't they?
Come on, Arch. See, I need the men's size.
For men. See, these are not. It's a quartz as well.
Oh, it's a shitter, Arch. I don't want quartz.
I don't know if it's shitter. This is expensive.
Come on, Arch. Treat me like an A-grade panelist. Come on.
See, I tell you what I like in gondolas. Let's have a look there. In gondolas that I like, a Patek 5124. That's what you would suit you. Look at that. That's a beautiful watch. That's a beautiful.
This looks like a reverso, Arch. What's the difference?
Well, this is a gondola. I also love the 5111. I think that's personally, I'd fucking love to get. I owned one of these. I did own it, and I sold it.
Yeah, it's not for me, Arch. I've got to be honest. I want Rolex. Oh, Arch, we've got a dishwasher today, so I haven't got to do the dishes anymore. I just put it in the dishwasher. We've got a hot point.
Beautiful. A hot point. What's a hot point? Sorry, I don't understand.
That's the make of the washing machine.
I don't understand. Why do a lot of people in the UK have closed washing machine in the kitchen? I don't get that.
That's what we've got, Arch. Well, where else would you put it?
Don't you have a laundry room?
No, we're not. No. The laundry room's the junk room. We put crap in it.
Yeah, because you don't put your car in the garage, do you?
No, I leave. I've got parking spaces at the back and a carport at the front. Currently, my partner uses the carport, and I use the
What
bit at
sort
the
of car
back.
does she have? What sort of car does she have?
She's got a Ford EcoSport.
Okay.
I gotta
So
be
there's
honest, it's a shitter.
you've paid it off?
Yeah, all paid for, both cars done. We don't do credit.
Okay. Oh, you don't do credit.
No. Arch, let me show you the car I want to get in the future. Type in Mercedes GLS black.
You want one of those?
Yes, it's beautiful.
So let's have a look. We've got the Gondola, the 5124, 5111. And what else can I show you? Those two are probably, what's another nice, you're not really interested in gondolas, are you, really?
No, awful.
Let's pick another one quickly just to keep the zeal happy. Oh, yes, a 5009. There we go. That's that there. I used to like that. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. Now let's have a look at this car you want. It's a Mercedes, what is it? GLS.
GLS black.
Oh, you want one of these?
Yes.
Oh, these are
Let me
trouble.
see.
You don't want to own that.
No,
Wouldn't
they're
you?
beautiful. What's wrong
You'd
with
be
you?
better off going for a BMW X5. That's
Ah,
what you'd be
fuck the
better off going
BMWs,
for.
Arch.
These are a
I've had it
better
up to
vehicle.
here with the Beamers. No, they're boring. I want the classy watch. I want the classy car. I want to have the bluesy hanging
How's
out
that
the
not
side of the GLS.
beautiful? Look at that. Look at that. It's fucking beautiful. Look at that. Look at that.
No, Arch, type in the X7 instead. That's the one I'd get.
They're expensive. You know how expensive these fucking things are or not?
Do you know how fucking rich my dad is? Yes, yes, yes. Type in X7, Arch.
I mean, as long as you want a GLS, these are trouble. You know that?
That's what I want, Arch. Look at it from behind. Look at the booty. Look at the booty on it, Arch. Look at it. Oh.
Would you garage it if you had one of these, or what would you do with the fucking thing?
No, just leave it. It's fine. It's just a bit of rain. What's the big deal, Arch? Look how beautiful they are.
What about if you wash it? See, it's not going to stay clean if you leave it outside, is it?
It doesn't matter, Archie. So what if it gets dirty? It's no big deal.
Here we go. Ice Cubitus, $2. 3 reasons you love the 5110 more than the 5130. This is a good question. The zeal is asking good questions. Patek 5110 versus 5130. This is actually a really nice. Let's have a look. See if I can bring this fucking picture
Pull it up, Arch.
up a bit. Can I get this fucking picture? I'll just see if I can get this picture up here. Okay, so that's the 5130.
I've got to be honest, I do quite like that.
Now, the thing is this, okay? So what is better? Okay, so that is a very good question. Which one is better? Interestingly enough, if you compare the cities, so we've got New York. See, the cities are slightly different. See, Rio, London. We've got a few little differences in the cities.
Which one has
Cairo,
Brisbane on?
None have Brisbane. What I'm trying to tell you is that these watches here, they've got a few different cities. And there's a few, just saying to you, there are some differences. Okay, so there's a little bit of difference. Okay, so what's 3 things that I like more about the 5? That's the smaller one. So that's the first one, is the smaller one. 3 things. I think the dial Guilloche is more nicer than the 5130. I think the some people don't like the monocule hour hand. I actually think it's good because these ones look too similar. These are a little bit. The criticism is you don't know the minute or the hour because they're very similar. And thirdly, what's one thing that's better? This was the first recreation of the World Time after a long gap. Now, the big thing about the 5130 is it's the biggest World Time they've ever made commercially. And it's a bigger size, more modern, 39.5 mils. That's the big plus on the 5130. Which one would I own both. Technically speaking, I do actually own both of those. I think the 5130 for me.
There's a big flaw in these watches, Arch. There's a very big flaw. What if the orbit of the sun changes and there's more, and next time we have to have more days in a month?
Well, there's also the flaw with daylight saving. They don't accommodate daylight saving. That's another flaw.
What if tomorrow, as of tomorrow, there's 25 hours in a day? We are fucked.
Exactly. That would take a long time. Time. What is time? Time. It's all relative. So we got another super chat from CB. Look at this. CB, $5. Archie, the ready for action was a compliment, you sexy. Thank you. Just changing subject. Educate the punters on where the name Gondolo came from. So it actually came from South America when one of the dealers had a competition. These watches were so expensive, he set up a competition to win one. That's where the name came from. Ice Cubitus, $10. You said the 5107 was the first time you spent big money. What drove you to make that purchase, and was it risky? Did you have buyer's remorse and try to flick it on the flea, or love at first sight? I got a small inheritance. That's what happened. My grandfather passed away, and I got a small inheritance. And it was the first time I actually considered, listen to this, HR.
Go on.
I could have got a steel Daytona. I passed it up.
Oh, you fucked up there, Arch.
Yeah, I could have got a steel Daytona.
And you sold the plastic sub.
I did a lot of silly things. There's no question of that. I've done, mind you, they were all stolen. Watches were all stolen from me. So, hey, who the fuck knows what the hell?
Yeah, but Arch, the joke's on the burglars because now they've probably got asbestos on their lungs.
I don't fucking know. You know what? I'm just telling you honestly, HR. It is what it is. Life isn't always fair.
No.
Life.
Did you ever get any? Did they ever catch the people who stole your watches? Or
no, nothing. Absolutely nothing. But tell me this: when you've been in HR, have you had people break down in tears, have emotional outbursts?
Not yet, but I think there's one coming up.
Okay.
And you know what I do? I say, "Shall we adjourn the meeting?" And I'll leave you for a while to compose yourself. And I walk out with the manager and get a coffee, then come back a bit later and say, "Are you okay to continue? By the way, we have got an employee assistance program." That's what I say, Arch.
Yeah. What do you think of my friend, Fade to Grey? He's 56 in Manchester. He's looking for an accounting job. Much chance?
It depends if you wear the right gear. We need the day date. We need the horsebit loafers. We need the no-show socks. We need the black trousers, and we need a cravat.
A cravat.
Yes, we need the cravat, Arch. That is old money.
Here we go. We've got a super chat. Ice Cubitus. AC3 once made a video entitled "Now Playing Watch Patek Patek is not for everyone. The high cost of perfection. What does that mean? I just made the video. Look, I used to just try and make videos every day. I tried to get a video out every day. And you try and think of clickbait titles, outlandish titles, and I thought Patek's not for everyone because they are fucking expensive. They were fucking expensive watches. And yeah, that's why I made those. I was just trying to get content out there. That's what I was trying to do.
It's hard, Arch. It's hard. Arch, I've got to jump off. It's nearly 1 a.m. here. So I need to get some sleep ready for the disciplinary meetings tomorrow.
Fuck, disciplinary. Fuck.
Yes, it's a weekly occurrence.
What naughty things have they been doing?
There's a lot of AWOLs at the moment. What have we got at the moment? We just got some AWOLs, really. That's about it, to be honest, Arch. That's 100% there, bud.
You don't have tracking?
No, we can't track them. No. Arch, it's been a pleasure. I need to jump off, though, all right? Have a good stream.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it, man.
No problem. See you later, Paul.
Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, HR. And we got Mike the Snake joining me. Hey, Mr. Snake, how are you, man?
Hey, Arch. I didn't want to leave you alone here, all alone. So,
hey, man, thank you so much. Ice Cubitus, $5. Why don't you make clickbaity content anymore? Do you think you're Ben Simer or something now?
Ben Simer.
That's from Houdinki fame. Yeah, you could say that, Ice Cubitus. Why don't I should make clickbaity type titles.
I agree. It's what gets most people to click on the content, and then even if the content isn't really related to the clickbait, if it's good content, they'll still watch it, and then the algorithm takes over. If they watch enough of them, then it'll just start feeding them your videos, and your videos will
we got
wait. So hold on, Mikey. As soon as I jump off, you jump on.
Yes.
Wait. Why is that, Mike?
Well, I
doesn't want to be hassled by you. That's why.
I logged on about 5 minutes ago. I've been kind of straightening my desk up.
Wait,
I was about
Mike.
ready to jump on, but then you.
I know when you're leading me up the garden path. I know this. I've seen what you've done before, and you claim if you claim that. Wait. Yes or no?
What? What are you talking about?
Exactly. You don't even know what's going on. Wait. Wait.
No. I saw you bailing, and I had planned on jumping on anyways, and I figured since you're bailing and Archie's going to be stuck alone, then I would jump on and help Archie out. That's what I
filing. Hey, Mike, I'm filing an official grievance on this. You'll hear from my lawyers.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, I'll have your lawyers contact my lawyers. Okay.
I got to tell you there, Mikey, it's a pleasure to have you on. What's going on, Mikey? Tell me this. What's happening? Did you take the bike out for a ride?
No, a little bit later today I'm going to.
I must say, Mikey, I've had a day to think about it, and I think you might have made a mistake buying the bike.
Oh, fuck, Archie. I have existed throughout life making mistake after mistake. It's, I'm really good at it. It's kind of my specialty.
Is this a better bike than the previous one you had?
Much better. And, I like the old one. It was a 2012 model. It was 1100. And it was
this is a 950, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's actually a 939 size wise, but they call it the 950. But I I thought that, I loved the 1100 because of the low end torque and grunt. So it's really usable on the streets and back
Yeah.
roads and stuff, But, and I thought that the water pumpers, when they went to 4 valves and water cooling, that they would, obviously gain at the top end, but that they'd lose some in the torque department. And as it turns out, this 150cc smaller engine puts out like 25 more horsepower than my old 1100 did, and more torque than the 1100 did. And so, and it's got all the electronics that I really like. If I had these electronics on my old bike, I never would have crashed in the first place. Traction control, wheelie control, and what's the other one? Wheelie control, traction control, and anti-lock brakes. If I had those things on my old bike, when I hit that patch of sand, it would have sensed my rear wheel spinning up, under,
And we
under
got
power
Herman, the
pressure.
piano guy, joining us. Hey, Herman, how are you? What's going on?
Me. I. Me. I'm so cool. I do this,
Yeah.
I do that. I own this, I own that. Me.
You know why that is? That's because the world does revolve around me, and I do
I know
own the
that,
whole damn
obviously.
road.
You tell us that
And
every day.
so, yeah, the fucking...
You. Mike.
Well, if you don't like it, fucking tune out.
No, you tune out.
Super chat here. We've got another super chat. AD never calling $10. Mike the Snake. Climber is deep with wisdom. Fuck you, Mike. You never even thank me for the pen or the ink. Just kidding, Mike. You're full of mistakes. Love you forever. AD always, Mike.
And I did thank you for the pen. Absolutely.
I got to tell you there, Mikey, this is the new Cebus. What do you think of the new Cebus? This is the lineup. This is the lineup there. What do you think?
From Patek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the Nautilus, and then the Aqua Timer, and then we have the Cubitus, and then what's this round one here? Second to the far right, before the pocket watch. What model is that?
That's the Ellipse. Oh, so that's just, these are the different models there. So this just shows you what they're doing. And that's how the lineup is going to be reflected, man.
Patek always has a real nice, tasteful lineup,
They do. Mikey, tell me this, Mikey. What is the flavor now? What watch are you going to get next? What watch is it? What's the watch you really want?
It depends on when my next, money installment comes in. When it comes in, if I have enough, obviously, if it was big enough, I'd get my Vacheron 4500 blue 3-hander on a bracelet, which is like, they're down. They're pretty reasonably priced these days. So I think they're around 20. But otherwise, we were looking at other watches aside from a Sub, and like the 50 Fathoms, and what was that watch? The remake that had the black bezel that normally didn't. Usually, I forget the model, but I really liked that one. But yeah, it really just depends on timing and how much I have at that time when I have the money, and I've decided, okay, I'm going to go buy a watch. Then I've got to search within my price range, with I got to search with how much I have to blow on a watch, and
you don't want to just get a Rolex.
Yeah, no, I'll probably get a Rolex. Probably just get a sub 41, and probably just leave that as my one and done for a while until I'm able to, you know, save up a little more of a nest egg. I kind of
The Porsche, how's the Porsche? Would you trade the Porsche in on a modern Porsche?
absolutely on the if it was or even a Porsche, a regular non-turbo Porsche of the same year as mine, but
Like, would you swap
actually
to something much more modern Boxster?
no Boxsters. The Caymans
Cayman?
I like, but I still if I'm gonna trade my 911 in, it's gonna be for another 911, for sure.
Unfortunately, they're expensive, Mike.
Oh, I tell me about it. I just got one, and
The shop you bought it from, would they buy it back? Have you considered trying to sell it back to them?
no. The old man that owned it died just recently, and he wasn't.
Oh, fuck,
He
that's no
was
good.
well. When I worked there as an engine builder like 4 years ago, he stopped calling me in, and I figured, well, I guess things just didn't work out. But it turns out that was the same time that he came down with Parkinson's disease, and then he had a stroke and a heart attack. And so he became wheelchair bound, couldn't talk, and so I stopped working there. And then when he started getting closer to death, his wife started taking over control of his estate, trying to sell everything that was in the building off, and she was dealing with a lot of grinders and entitled Porsche people that think you owe them, and she was really tired of those kind of people, and that's why she gave me the deal she did on my car, and she gave me all the time in the world to come up with the money for it, so I'm very grateful to her.
We got a super chat from AD Never calling $10. Everyone loves Mike. Mike, send me the info on the bike so I can get the same one and we can be biker bros. Peace, bro. Oh yeah, Breitling sucks. Dead donkey dick. So the bike that Mikey actually has, just to clarify this, I wanted to clarify it's you have a Ducati Hyper Modtard 950.
Yes.
That's what it is. We
And
got just on the screen now. It's the Ducati Hyper Modtard 950, also known as the Widowmaker.
No, I don't think the Hyper's not known as a Widowmaker. The car is.
It's got a 950 engine. That's the same engine on the race bike, isn't it?
No, not at all. No. The race bikes have V4s these days. They're full fairing, like full blown super bikes. They're V4s, not V twins or L twins.
Oh, this is a V twin, is it?
Yeah, mine's an L twin or a V twin.
Okay.
And it's also a base model. It's not like
we've got Jay Anthony joining the stream. Hey, Jay Anthony, how are you?
Hey, gentlemen, how's it going?
Hi, Jay.
Jay Anthony, I have seen with promise there. You have been posting some videos there.
Oh no!
And some good content there. You did some good content. What do you think there? What's going on? Talk to us. What's going on?
Very kind of you to say the content's good. I'm not proud of it, but appreciate it. I'm trying to get back to my roots and remember the watches that I used to be passionate about. So getting back into the Seiko collection.
I want to ask you something. This is the new Patek lineup. This is the Cubitus. What do you think? This is the lineup now. What do you think of that?
I think it's a terrible name, but I actually do like the watch. Kind of reminds me a little bit.
Cubitus.
I hate the name, but it kind of reminds me of a Nautilus.
Oh, it's cube. It's cube. I don't think the name is that
kind of
bad.
A squared out Nautilus. I wonder if it's available on a bracelet.
Can we just talk about why they still have pocket watches available for sale? Who buys those? Besides people like me, maybe. What's that market?
I think it's a very small market, but it's something they're very expensive. They're not cheap. they're a beautiful pocket watch. Patek pocket watch is really beautiful,
Oh,
but
I'm sure they are.
it's kind of, yeah, it is. The
I think the
Cubitus, you're
Cubitus,
not a big fan. Tell me that. Why not? Why not a fan?
I actually like the watch a lot. It came out. I don't like the name of it. I think the name is kind of silly, but the
Yeah.
watch itself came out more tasteful than I thought it would. To me,
Will
I
it be
like.
popular? Let me ask you this. Will it be a sellout? Yes or no?
I mean, people are going to buy it because they can't get an Aquanaut or a Nautilus. I quite honestly like it better than the Aquanaut. I've never been a fan of the Aquanaut. I know that makes me an outlier, but to me, I think it's much more tasteful than the Aquanaut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
Look, I think it takes a while to grow on you. You know, like it's a very traditionally rectangular and square Pateks haven't been hugely popular.
Do they make this Cubitus model in a three-hander?
I think they would, Mike. Yeah, they definitely would do that. But this is just the photo they've released. Interestingly enough, this is a day date. It's a day date complication. Doesn't have the month. Look, I think the thing is with this, right? They wanted to bring out a new line because they didn't want the brand to be one trick pony like AP. AP, they're very scared of having a situation where all that sells is the Nautilus and the Aquanaut. You know, the funny thing is for Patek, the number one seller in the 70s was the Ellipse. And that the Ellipse now, I quite like the Platinum Ellipse, but it's fucking expensive. And it's not so, they make you buy that shit if you want a Nautilus, okay? That's what they do. But I got to be honest with you, I kind of think I think they may have fucked up the timing.
Tell me more.
I was saying at the front of my show, I was saying feels like a Mercedes W140. So before the W140, you had the W126 in the 80s.
Yep.
And the 80s was all about excess and everything like that. And then Mercedes released the W140, which was a bigger car, more tech. It was double glazed windows. It had so much. It was released just when the market was going the other way. So they released it. Fuck, if they would have released the W140 a couple years before, it would have been hugely popular. But the market sentiment had changed. Do you see what I'm saying? And
I do. The W140 is considered a lot of good Benz to this day.
We got another super chat. AD never calling, $10. Oh shit, Mike, I retract that. We'll never be biker bros with that piece of shit. Damn, what a gay fucking bike.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree there because I think it's one of the most beautiful bikes Ducati's ever produced. You know, I do find their full fairing race bikes more aesthetically pleasing, but I'm too big and fat and old to be on one of those type of bikes, and so you won't find me buying or on one of those bikes. And the more practical bike is the Hyper, which I've got, which has a very upright riding position and is much more comfortable to ride. And
just 1 minute, I got the super chat from CB, $10. In my boarding school days, a kid, son of a count, that was Count Dracula's son, bought a Pantera 3 months later, finished all his money and traded it for a 400cc Ducati.
Well, you know, there was a short time ago.
Did they used to have a 400cc Ducati, Mike, in the 70s?
Yeah, no, I've seen all of them. But there was a time when Panteras had not like really found their value in the market, and they were available at very, very low prices.
Oh, I gotta
Now-
I gotta make a correction. Gondolo was the official importer in Brazil in the early days. That's why it's called the Gondolo.
Okay.
There's another watch that struggles to sell. Mikey, what do you think of the 999R? That was always my Ducati dream bike as a kid that I never bought.
Oh, the 999. I'm more preferential to the 998 and that generation, which included the Super Mono, the 916, the 996, and the 998. All of those are that bodywork is absolute perfection. Cannot be improved upon, in my opinion. The
Hey guys,
999
I wanna
was a real serious departure from that body style. You know, they had that single little itty bitty headlight, and their bodywork is quite a bit different. They're beautiful bikes, and they definitely perform. But I just prefer the previous generation.
Hey guys, I'm going to bring up something here. This is a friend of ours. This guy used to be on this channel here, Jay Anthony. This is our friend Marco. He used to do a lot of streaming with us in the day, and he then got a job at Luxury Bazaar. That's with Roman Sheriff. He did well at Roman Sheriff. Then he took a bit of a sabbatical, and he's come back. And he's working for a company now, which is called Burden's Jewelry. And that's the website, Burden's Jewelry. And he's very kindly, let's have a look. Let's have a look at his collection.
So let's get right into it.
Jewelry. Let's have a look. Have a look here.
So I get asked this all the time in terms of what's in my current collection, what I've collected in the past, and what has come and gone, and all that kind of good stuff. And I can say that I've been an absolute mess when it comes to my watch collections, because I've traded in and out of countless watches. I mean, I've owned a 26315 ST with the ruthenium dial. I've owned a 15202. I've owned a 321 Speedmaster, Laurent Ferrier Galley Square. I mean, there's so many different watches that.
Okay, so this
was a watch that I got because I had sold my 15202 and wanted kind of a replacement.
He had a 15202, that's the AP. He thought it was too much money for a young guy to have in watch. And I tend to agree with him. I said, look, a 15202, that's the special AP. A lot of money. You know, you're talking very collectible. He sold it and replaced it with a mid-size Cartier Santos, which this is a beautiful watch. You can't really... I mean, it's not like the AP. Let's have a look what else he's got.
That integrated bracelet style sports watch at a much cheaper price point, because I just felt the 15202 was just too much money in a watch for me at my age, and it just wasn't something I was comfortable with. And this I got for under $5,000, and it's just a spectacular watch considering you get all the history of the Cartier Santos, that integrated bracelet style look on top of.
Okay, next
I
watch.
got an absolute steal. I actually got this from a good friend of mine. Shout out to you. You know who you are if you're watching. And this was a watch that I'd had on my radar forever. And honestly speaking, I just never got around to actually finding a good deal or buying one. And when the opportunity presented itself, I just had to take it. Not only do you get this incredible model pusher chronograph movement from Montblanc through the Minerva factory, which they make about 100 movements per year, which is just a super, super limited quantity. But the finishing itself is probably, I would say, up there with pretty much any independent in the industry. It's super spectacular. And I have it on this elastic band strap, which just gives it kind of that military vibe to it, which I think fits the field watch aesthetic really, really well for this watch. This is a watch that I think is going to be definitely a keeper, again, because it's mechanically unique. Where are you going to find a mono pusher chronograph at this kind of price point, manual winding mono pusher chronograph that's finished this high of a level? It's just an extreme value, and I think a total unicorn on the watch. GMT Master 2, and that is my Batgirl. I've owned this watch now over 3 years. It's the longest watch I've owned in my collection. It's one that will never, ever leave. Such a great look to it. The sheen of this bracelet and the case really reminds a friend of mine actually
This is here,
showed me this, I
Casio.
fell in love instantly. And
G-Shock.
fortunately for me, it fits my wrist absolutely perfectly. And it's just such a great design, such a great look to it. The sheen of this bracelet and the case really reminds me of a black ceramic royal oak. And to me, this is that ultimate weekend warrior or vacation watch, especially with this anti-theft mechanism on the clasp, where if you push down on this, you actually can't physically open bracelet.
And finally,
now, I will be on record saying that a Vacheron 56 on a leather strap doesn't really appeal to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the heft of it. I need to have a watch that has like a certain heft so that it feels almost luxurious. I know that sounds kind of wrong, but it didn't feel luxurious enough to me on a leather strap. But when I tried this on a bracelet, I absolutely fell in love. This kind of sector style dial with this super unique bracelet format that really vents the wrist super well. And also you get the incredible micro adjustments in the clasp itself. I know this doesn't the watch industry, and I think it has to come to do with at times. And
there we go, guys. What did you think of that collection?
What was the last watch he was referring to?
That's the Vacheron 56. The Vacheron 56 steel on a bracelet. Yeah. Sorry, it's a what?
Was it a Nautilus?
What did you say? No, Nautilus is a Patek, Mike. This is a Vacheron 56. That's their kind of what did you think, Jay Anthony?
I turned away when he showed the picture of the watch, and so I didn't get a chance to see it.
Okay.
I have a good friend of mine in the community that has the 56, and he's got a very, very, very nice collection, and that's his go-to watch. And because it's stainless and nobody knows what it is, he wears it almost daily. So I think it's a great watch that only real collectors would buy. I think the Cartier is timeless. I don't like Mont Blanc, but I respect that one. And the Minerva Works is very interesting. I like the G-Shock, and then the Batgirl is on the Jubilee. That's the right bracelet for it. What about you?
CB, we got a comment here. CB, $10. Archie, it was a true story. The Ducati, it was a true story. The Ducati was a scrambler. It was named the Scrambler. I sent you a pic of the kid's mother. She was an actress. Can he be Mike the Snake's brother? Now, this lady, I've got to tell you, she is a very attractive lady indeed there. Let's bring that picture up. We'll bring her up. She's quite good looking. We'll get her up on the screen. Here we go. Here we go. Ba-da-ba-da. There you go. She's on the screen. Look at that.
Wow.
Wow. That was his mum. My God.
Long, slender neck. What a great nape.
Very, very lovely looking lady there. That's for sure. Look, I got to tell you, Jay Anthony, I think he's got a Rolex. I like his Batgirl. I think that's a great watch. The Santos, I think, is a great casual watch. Yeah, if you've ever met Marco, he's got skinny wrists, so I think the medium-sized Santos is probably a good size for him. Santos is a good watch. I would say the Vacheron. I think the Vacheron's a great choice. That's a good watch. As you mentioned there, Jay Anthony, it's a very the 56 came out. That was kind of their entry level. That's kind of their entry level Vacheron, I think. I like it. I think it's gorgeous. I wish instead of, the Casio does nothing and that Mont Blanc does less than nothing. I reckon if he had an Omega Speedmaster in there, got rid of the Mont Blanc and got a Speedy, a classic Speedy would be good. And maybe I would also add, he had a PAM before. I would have liked him to have some sort of dive watch. He did have a PAM years ago when he was on my stream. He did have his first luxury watch was a PAM. I kind of wish he still had the PAM because the PAM is just such a good versatile watch. But
the GMT is pretty much a dive watch. It doesn't have the triple lock crown, but it's an oyster case stainless steel watch that will do 100+ meters. You'll be fine. But I'm
Here we
with
go.
you.
18 ever calling, $10. When did the name Marco become synonymous with boring? Is this Marco Nicolini or it's Marco Ferrente? Marco Ferrente? Marco Nicolone. Anyhow, the thing is, guys, I got to tell you, he's I think he's got a nice little collection. He's only a young guy, and he, as I said, he had that very expensive AP. I think that was a bit too much money. You know, someone that age, Jay Anthony, he probably should be buying an apartment. What do you think?
The drastic difference between the AP and his current collection is not even worth a quarter of what the AP was. I wonder what motivated that life decision, if there was a lesson in there that caused the change in the collection.
Yeah, well, it's just a lot of money tied up in one watch.
Crazy amount of money. Yeah.
It's like a kid having a 911. You know, it's sort of it is what it is. But now what I wanted to say is, Jay Anthony, so there you go, guys. Check out Burden's Jewelry. That's where you'll see more of Marco Ferrente's videos. And I think you will really enjoy that. There's some great stuff going on there. The other thing that I really want to point out here is, because we've got our good friend Jay Anthony on the screen. Let's have a look what Jay Anthony has been up to. We'll have a look at some of his videos here. No, you should take good pride in your work. He's done some videos. Why you can't buy a Rolex at the AD? None for you. Yep. I totally agree with you there. How to achieve financial independence? What keeps you poor? Okay. See, it's good to know that coming on my stream gives you some pointers. There's some good stuff there. We've also got the Seiko Monster. You did a tour of your office. There we go, guys. People have been asking for that. Just check it out on the Jay Anthony Watches channel.
What kind of car is that white? What kind of car is that white car?
That's a Corvette.
That's my old Corvette. Yeah.
Oh, okay, very cool.
You'd also talk about why you don't want a Rolex. What other watches are great buys? I think you got some great videos there, Jay Anthony.
I appreciate it, sir.
You know, it's always, I made videos and it was always, you think, oh, I'm not happy with this. You know what? Just do it. Don't procrastinate. Do it. Do the best you can. Just do it and see how you just get content out there.
Yeah, I'm never happy with anything I make. I never watch them.
What's the secret to get promoted? Can I ask you that? What is the secret to get promoted? Any secrets on being promoted? Tell me.
I don't want to spoil the video, but I mean, legitimately, I think it comes down to how to win friends and influence people. You want to be a person that people want to hang out with and want to talk with. A lot of people, I think, go really wrong when they'd rather be right than effective. And if you go around telling people how they screwed up or where they're wrong, you just make them defensive and not want to work with you. It's amazing how much a good attitude and being friendly can go.
Fair point.
Agreed.
I got to be honest with you. I found some careers can be a bit dead end. Like I think in IT, if you wanted to be in server ops or things like that, which paid more money, the next promotion, you had to be in a different state. You had to be in Melbourne or Sydney. And it's a bit of a bitch to move. You know what I mean? It can be a bitch. But
that's the way there's certain cities that really draw IT folks. Northern California, and parts of Texas.
I think IT is really fucked, to be honest with you, Jay Anthony. I think it's fucked.
A lot of people are leaving California, from Silicon Valley to
Tell me this.
greener pastures.
Mike, I would rather become a plumber than an IT guy now. If I was 20 years old guy, I had a choice. I could do a plumbing apprenticeship or go into IT. Fuck IT. What do you think, Jay Anthony?
I think we're at a big point where there's going to be a big inflection with AI, and there's all these pop-up startup
AI
overnight
can't
companies.
fix the blocked toilet.
No, I think it's I think you're going to see a lot of these AI companies go out of business in the next couple of years. They're going to get consolidated. So if you're talking about job security, yeah, the plumbing business is already established.
Yeah, any of the trades, if you take the time to become a journeyman in any of them, especially if there's a what do you
What's a
call it?
journeyman, Mike? What's a journeyman? I haven't
Well,
heard
you
that.
start out as an apprentice, and then after you've
Yeah.
gone through your apprenticeship, you become a journeyman. That's what you just.
Journeyman.
And if you can call yourself a journeyman mechanic, it means that you've maybe taken school and have paperwork for that, but then you've also worked for 4 years as a mechanic at a shop, and then now you're being hired on as like top mechanic or just a high end mechanic as a journeyman, and it just fetches a lot more money because being a journeyman just says that you've put a lot of years in. And
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I wanna ask you this, Jay Anthony. If you had to start again, fresh out of college with a business degree, which state would you move to in America? Would you go to a low-cost state, Missouri, Mississippi, somewhere like in the South, where housing is? Where would you go to establish yourself? Would you go to New York or LA? Where would you go?
Are we talking about if I went back in time to when I graduated? Now, is that business environment or the one we're in
now? Now, if you were a young man now, well, you are a young man, but if you were, say 20-year-old man, where would you think your best bet to get success would be?
So I have an emotional and I have a logical answer. Emotionally, I don't like where I live, but logically, Texas is a great place. So it's not, I don't plan on living here long term, but we have no state income tax. And there's a lot of people consolidating here from California. There's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of diversified markets. Dallas is different than Austin versus San Antonio or Houston. I'm personally a big fan of the Pacific Northwest. I would probably live in Washington State. There's no income tax there, and it's also pretty diversified.
I've lived in Seattle. It's a pretty great town. As long as
Washington's expensive,
something going on.
Washington's expensive and Seattle is expensive. They're expensive places.
All cities are expensive.
I mean, it comes down, I mean, they are expensive, but it comes down to opportunity, right? So it's like, if you live in an affordable place to live, typically it's because the job market's pretty weak. And I mean, the joke in America is if you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. I don't have big needs. I could live in a closet as long as it has running water and a bathroom and a microwave. And if you're looking to establish yourself and have low taxes, I would do something like Washington or Texas. It's going to allow you to save a lot more money. California, you lose everything to your paycheck. New York, New Jersey tax the shit out of you. Florida's a environmental mess right now. They're constantly getting flooded with storms and stuff. I'd probably do
and pythons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Everglades too. Yeah, you're right. There's like 50-foot pythons in there now.
Yeah.
Fuck me dead. 50-foot pythons.
Yeah.
$5. Everyone on the panel, pick a car you'd use for Cannonball Run and tell the rest why theirs would win. You know what I would pick for Cannonball Run, seriously, Jay Anthony?
Tell me.
Okay, so you look at this, right? So you don't necessarily want to have a new car for Cannonball Run, do you? You want to have something that's, you can use and abuse. And I reckon the best car for Cannonball Run, would be an E46 M3.
Tell me more.
Manual.
Yep.
Gated shifter.
Yep.
Well,
not gated, but yeah, it's a manual shift.
Yeah,
I wish it was
manual.
gated.
Yes. That's what I'd be doing.
I was
I
actually
don't think
thinking
I'd be taking a Ferrari on that. Would you take a Ferrari on Canon? Because you want something with reasonable ground clearance, don't you think?
my favorite, and I just saw it in the chat. So Alex Roy, was his last? I want to say his last name was Roy. I want to say his first name was Alex. But back in like 20 years ago, he used the E39 M5 to do the Cannonball run. Had it mocked up as a police car. It was the perfect car for the rally. You could put a big fuel tank in it. It was under the radar. It wasn't shouty back then. Yeah, it was a perfect car.
I seem to remember somebody doing something similar with a Mercedes that they got
have a
it turned into a
Lamborghini as a police
giant
car as
gas
well?
tank.
Yes.
Yeah, they of course they had a Lamborghini. That's that Monkey Garage guy and another guy. No, they used. I think they did use the Lamborghini for the Cannonball run.
I know in the movie they did. In real life, to your point, Archie, it'd be a terrible car because you get way too much attention. You don't want people noticing the car. Like there was some guy that took an Audi S6 and debadged it and made it look like a Ford Taurus. Like he actually put fake Ford badges on it and tried to make it look like a cop car. This is a couple of years ago. I thought that was clever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very, very clever. Yeah.
But you gotta understand the Cannonball runs like a all out, balls out as fast as you can go.
I tell you the best car. I reckon I'd get a Camry. Yeah. The Camry would be so fucking reliable. It'd be comfortable, reliable, and it would. That's what I reckon. That'd be an ideal car. What do you think?
Supercharged LS 430.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the fastest way you're gonna get there is in a newer Corvette.
But you don't necessarily need highway speed.
You need 3 times highway speed is what you need.
Yeah, they average over 120, 130. But you don't want to be noticeable. You don't want a Corvette. You'll get pulled over.
In America, you get caught doing speeds like that. You know, in Australia, if you're caught 40 kilometers over, you can lose your car.
Oh yeah. Here in California, it's 25 miles over the speed limit, and you get I think a reckless driving ticket, and they impound your car, and you can lose your license and stuff.
Yeah, in the U.S., it depends on the state and the cop that pulls you over. I got pulled over doing 100 in a 35 zone, and they let me off with a warning. But in Virginia, they would tow you and impound your car. So, yeah.
Yes, don't do that again, Jay Anthony. That's dangerous, don't you think?
I don't get caught. This is the moral of that story.
Yeah, it's
Danger was his middle name back then.
Cannonball Run. I think realistically, the reality is a lot of these high-end exotics, they're actually not the greatest for these things, because often these exotics, they've been sitting for a while. You know what I mean? A car that's been sitting, Jay Anthony, isn't really prepped and ready to run. You know, a car that's been used is kind of more, you know, it's you see a lot of these low mileage Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and people think low mileage, oh, it's like new. Well, it also seals dry out, lubrication doesn't happen, and when you start using it, you start to have leaks and all sorts of problems. Cars don't like sitting, Jay Anthony. What do you think?
You're spot on. It's the worst thing you can do.
What's the longest you reckon a car can sit for? Like a modern car, how long is it okay to let it sit? Like a month? A week? I think a couple of weeks is it's okay.
My neighbor spends 6 months here and 6 months up north and has a 992.1 Carrera S manual, and the car gets driven 3 or 4 months a year, and it's theoretically fine. But I wouldn't want to leave a car sitting more than a month at a time.
I think you're right.
And you can trickle charge it, but to your point, the seals just dry out. And that's why a lot of the Porsches that I knew that had the IMS bearing issues were trailer queens. They were cars that sat in the garage, and then all the fluid would basically sit down to where the bottom of the bearing, it wasn't getting fully lubricated, and it would leak through the seals, and it would corrode the little balls that were in that thing. It was the cars that sat blew up.
Interesting.
That's an observation more than a fact, but it was the cars that sat. You're right. It's just terrible for your car. Everything just sinks to the bottom of the car.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The seals get sticky and kind of glued on in place. And when you first spin or move anything, you literally like rip the seal because it's kind of like.
If a car's been sitting for a month, how long would you warm it up before you drove away?
3 minutes. And only because it's been sitting for 10 minutes or 10 years or something, right?
You're probably gonna disagree with me, but I would start it up and drive it, but I would keep it at very low RPM until it warmed up. And I'm talking about oil and coolant.
Exactly. It takes any car, I don't care what it is, motorcycle or car, roughly 15 minutes for the oil to reach full temperature.
The temperature gauge in the modern Beamers is all water.
No, it's
temperature.
all.
They don't.
Oh, they used to be oil only. They never had a water temperature gauge. Neither of my cars, the 135 or the 335, had a water temperature gauge. It had an oil temperature gauge that didn't even move off the pin for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then it started moving up off the pin, and it usually stayed around 200 degrees or so, 220. But BMW, the older ones with the orange dash, they had oil temperature, not coolant temperature, because your coolant temperature gets up to temp within like 3 minutes.
Yes. I am Roadster has both. Yeah, to your point, the coolant kicks on immediately. It takes me about 10 minutes of driving before the engine oil comes up to temp.
Tell me this, J. Anthony, what's the best car to do Route 66 in? One side of America to the other.
Honestly, a lot of it's kind of broken up at this point in like middle of nowhere. So you'd want something really comfortable just to kind of lounge around in. I don't think you'd want a car.
Route 66 doesn't really exist anymore, does it?
The interstate system made it obsolete. So it's more of like it's not the fast way. It's like you want to take the long scenic way. And I don't think a lot of it even connects anymore. It kind of breaks up in places, if I remember. I haven't done all of it, but it's been obsolete since the 1950s.
Yeah.
So you want some cruiser.
Yeah, Crown Vic. A Crown Vic.
Yeah.
Lincoln Town car.
That's what a Lincoln was based on, wasn't it? A Crown Vic.
Well, the last Lincoln Town car, the rear-wheel drive Panther platform, was the Crown Vic and the Mercury Grand Marquis. Yeah, they're all the same platform. And then they had the Continental, which is front-wheel drive in the last version, and the Marks. And
tell me this, J. Anthony. What's happened with Ford now? They're not making cars anymore besides the Mustang, right? Has that worked out well for them? Was that a good idea or a dumb idea?
I haven't been tracking their sales, but where I live, which is not a big American town, there's a lot of Ford Fusions driving around. So clearly they sold a lot of them.
Yeah. The Fusion police cars, they use Fusions as police cars.
Here they use Tauruses, but the Tauruses have been replaced by Explorers.
I saw recently that Pontiac is coming out with their new version of a Firebird, and at least maybe it was a prototype picture. I'm not sure, or maybe it was a photograph, but it was absolute pure sex.
Must be a kit car maker because the brand's been gone since 2009. Who's making it?
I'm not sure. It was like maybe a short on, but it was like, this is Pontiac's 2025 Firebird coming soon. As I interpreted it, maybe I just got sucked into a scam ad. I don't know.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
How come you can't get Rolex then? What do you need to do if you're just a normal Joe average 30-something-year-old guy who wants a Submariner? What do you do?
Find a really wealthy friend who's built up a lot of store credit. So the people I see that get them are visiting their dealers every month, bringing them chocolates and buying stupid bracelets for their girlfriends from them and earning up store spends.
So basically, you're just better off to go to a dealer like David SW and pay the price and walk out with your dignity intact.
Or you wait for the market go down and you buy it when it's low and sell it when it goes back to high.
What do you see the market doing? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? What's going to happen?
I have no idea. I hope it gets worse so I can buy more stuff even cheaper. Doesn't bother me.
Yes.
But
Cheaper.
I mean, I do think there's a couple big unknowns we have to get past. One is this election in the U.S. Whatever happens, the candidate to me doesn't make the difference so much as you just see any election cycle. People get really insecure and they hold off on buying big purchases. Yeah. And so once we get past this and interest rates, if they continue to go down, I think people are going to spend more money. But
yes, interest rates are a big lever. And yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't think it doesn't really matter. You know, I have friends who say, "Oh, this side is in power, da 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 da." But realistically, the success you have is dependent on yourself. If you're going to stay at home and drink beer all day, you're not going to make a lot of money, as opposed to if you try and get a job or try and work or try and do something. Or it's very dependent on yourself more so than who is elected. And I think realistically at the moment, interest rates are still quite high. Mm-hmm. Confidence is a little bit. You got the share market seems to be all over the place. China seems to be printing money, putting money into the market. You've got some. It's a very tricky times. But
the stock market is great. Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be a huge crash because the fundamentals are still pretty good. It's not Ponzi scheme. It's the fundamentals. There's many good companies there. There's many. There's a lot of substance to to business. I got to be honest with you. I think watches themselves, I never really liked it when they were considered like an investment tool. Mm-hmm. I think that's a false kind of thing. I never thought watches would actually become like that. I never thought that watches would be cool or collected. And the funny thing is, even when they had all these articles, they were very selective in what they spoke about. They never spoke about people who fucking collected Panerais and who did their ass. They shut up about that. They never spoke about people who collected Breitlings. Like a lot of those. And I don't know if you remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, Breitling and Panerai and IW, they were like really popular, cool brands.
Oh yeah.
And
Hublot.
And they kind of Hublot's a bit later, Mike. That's a bit later.
Was it?
Yeah, Panerai were like Rolex. You couldn't get them. They were really hard to find.
No.
Yeah, in the mid 2000s.
No, Panerai was very much, and I remember the thing is too, I think what has happened is, Jay Anthony, is that going back in time, people had a lot less watches. Going back 20 years, like a collection was 5 watches was, well, that's a good collection. You know, you'd have 5 reasonably priced watches. The amount of wealth that we saw go into it, people had 20 watches. You saw collections that are just fucking amazing, like really, you just mind numbing there. We got a super chat from Drill Phil Bill, $5. I like the Yacht-Master 40 Rhodium. Got a trade for my sub 41 and 2000. Would you do it? I got to be totally honest with you, Drill Phil Bill. I would go the other way. To get out of a fucking Yacht-Master, I would put 2 in to get a sub 41, because the sub 41 is the classic. I wouldn't be. See, I got to tell you something, Jay Anthony. I don't want to have a go at Drill Phil Bill, but I think he's just bored. A sub 41, fuck, that's a beautiful watch. I take it it's a black date. I own that watch. I had it stolen. I fucking love that watch. 41 mil Submariner. Fuck. You know what? the Yacht-Master is a great watch, but I think myself, the black dial, the black bezel, it's just a icon. Probably the most wanted Rolex of all time. I mean, the Daytona's wanted because it's hard to get, but the Submariner, it's a legend, man. I mean, that's a cornerstone of Rolex. Rolex has always prided itself waterproofing. Would I get a yacht? I like Yacht-Masters.
I'm with Drill Phil Bill. I mean, if we're saying that watches are not investments, because to be honest, to your point, the Sub is a much better retainer of value than the Yacht-Master is ever going to be. I think the Yacht-Master is a superior watch. It wears better on the wrist. It's much rarer. It's not, you're not going to see it on everybody, and it's got platinum on it. It's better in every way.
The Sub 41 is just such an icon. Like it's a fashion. It defies. Put it this way. There's a couple YouTubers I watch who have classic Rolexes, and they just had one watch. I'm talking Tyrrell's Workshop. It's a UK classic car site, and there's 4x4 Overlander. That's a 4-wheel drive channel. The guy was from South Africa, and both of them have Submariners. Plastic Submariners. They're just so, it's just so cool to see it on their wrist. And I got to be honest with you, Drew.
Most people you see wearing a Sub, are they people that you think are really into watches, or do you think they bought it for other reasons?
No, they bought it because they wanted a good watch. They're not watch people. These are not watch people, but it just, if you were to pick a watch, like seriously, pick a watch that does everything as a one and done, you'd have to pick something waterproof. Okay. There's no point picking something that's a dress watch on a leather strap, because that can't really be a one and done, because the straps get damaged and they're delicate. You want something waterproof. You want something, it would have to either be a GMT function watch, like a Explorer, a GMT, a Pepsi, a Coke, something like that, or a Submariner. That is the two. If you were to pick a watch, just go through life with, and it's, the thing is, I think the Sub 41, I had a no date Sub, a 14060. That's the pre-ceramic.
Yeah.
And what I loved, I sold it, I was stupid, right? But what I loved about it was just so iconic. It's just so beautiful. I looked at pictures where I wore the fucking, I think, oh, fuck, why did I sell? It's just such a cool watch. And I think the Yacht-Master is cool, but I think you're going to regret getting out of the Sub. I can't believe it. You get out of a Sub and you got to put 2K in. That's a shit deal. That is a shit deal, Drill Phil Bill. And I got to be honest with you, if ever you wanted to sell either of one of those watches, the Sub would be easier to sell and you'd get more money for it.
I agree with that.
Even though the platinum bezel Yacht-Master,
Rhodium,
the best. No, that's the dial. It's the rhodium dial he's talking about.
Oh,
the rhodium,
okay.
that's the gray sort of dial.
It's also got a platinum bezel as well.
Yes, the Yacht-Master has a platinum bezel on the steel model.
Okay.
On the two-tone, it's a gold bezel.
Okay.
You know what I really like? I tell you what I really like in two-tone Yacht-Master is the rose gold and steel. That's fucking sexy. You know the rose gold?
I need to pull one up. It's been a while. I'm trying to think which one you're talking about.
I'll bring it up for you. I'll bring it up. Just hang on there.
Only ones I've really ever looked at were the steel ones, for the tool watches. I never looked at the gold versions of them, just not the Yacht-Master. It's made to get wet, it's like a Submariner. It's a tool watch.
This is
I mean,
the
any
picture.
laser
Look
can
at
get
this.
wet.
Is that not beautiful? Look at that. Steel and gold.
Can't see it.
It's a beautiful watch, that. Sorry. Sorry.
And the good news is any Rolex Oyster is going to be waterproof, assuming it's been maintained.
Mm-hmm.
It's new. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that it's fucking
like the red lettering
gorgeous?
Yeah.
And we got a super chat here. Yankee Doodle, $5. I have a yellow gold 36 mil 18238 mint condition white dial Romans. I can't get myself to wear it daily. Feels super douchey. What do you think, AC3? And I'm just going to go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Cover me, you guys.
Make sure you shut your volume up. We don't want to hear any of that. Yankee Doodle, I have this watch with the meteorite. Jesus, that'd be really nice. I have the Mother of Pearl version of this watch. And I used to feel the same way. I felt kind of like a pimp when I used to wear. I've had 2 day dates. I used to have an 1803, and I used to get really self-conscious about it. But the 36 mil day date that I have, double quick set like you right now, I wear it all the time. But I wear it to the office. And what's really nice about it is nobody notices it because I think I'm just wearing some Michael Kors or some gold-plated fashion watch. So I get to enjoy it, and I feel safe because I take it to the office with me. I wouldn't wear it downtown in a major city, but I got to tell you, I mean, I look at that watch every time it's on my wrist and just kind of stare at it, and I'm so grateful I own it. To me, if you can't enjoy it, there's no point in having it. And so if you have a safe place to enjoy it, I absolutely would wear it. And I have a friend of mine too that has one that he just wears at home, and that's like his home watch. And it's just so however you want to enjoy it. But I mean, as long as you have a safe place to enjoy it, I absolutely would wear it every day. I love wearing mine, and nobody notices this stuff, honestly. The 41 millimeter Submariner, people would notice a lot more than this watch.
The Yacht-Master appears to have like a maxi case. The lugs don't seem to fare into the bracelet, kind of like a maxi case. In any case, what I liked a lot about the Yacht-Master is the bezel. The numbers are embossed. You know, they're raised above the bezel. They're not indented or painted on or imprinted in ceramic. They're textile. You can feel them, and they can be scratched and ruined, basically, to try to refinish and put that same kind of sandblast finish on a not a sea dweller, but a Yacht-Master bezel. It would be really difficult. So it's really, I find that really cool. I really do. I like the bezel on the Yacht-Masters.
I do too. Mine has the platinum one on it, which does scratch, and platinum is really difficult to polish. So it's like the one negative thing I could say about the watch is when it gets scratched, good luck polishing it if it's on the platinum part. But yeah,
is platinum fairly soft metal?
No, it's actually quite hard. It's very difficult to polish.
Okay, I got to tell you something. 18238. You know what, Yankee Doodle? It's a fucking beautiful watch. I love an 18238. I fucking owned. My problem is, I tell you, I actually had many years ago. So I sold my 1016. I bought a sort of a rough 18038 with a blue dial. And then, always the case, once you buy it, then something better comes along.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually bought a 18238, which had factory diamond. It was a cream dial with factory diamonds. It had the 2 baguettes, 9 and 6 had the baguette.
Yep.
And I fucking loved that watch. It was an E serial number, and I bought it. I really, really loved that watch. I sold the 18038, and that watch, I fucking regret selling it because I needed the money, but the money didn't it's a long story. I should have kept the watch because I really did love that watch. And I got to tell you something. The thing about it is, let me say this to you.
Mm-hmm.
18238, it's not necessarily an everyday watch. If you don't feel comfortable wearing it every day, that's okay. But it's when you do put it on, Yankee, that it makes you feel special. And I actually think the 18238 is the sweet spot.
Yep.
It's a bargain. Get a good condition. If you get a ratty one, that's another story. But if you get a nice condition 18238, it's just a beautiful watch. It's not like it used to be. See, that used to be very imposing watch, but it's a smaller size now, so it's a little bit discreet. Most people, when they see a gold watch, they just assume it's gold plated.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize it's real gold. So I really wouldn't be too worried wearing it because nobody even knows, oh, that's a solid gold watch. They don't. I think you're putting these limits on yourself. I would say you've got to really look. If you don't want to wear it every day, hey, that's your choice. But if you do want to wear it every day, you can. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing anything that could damage the watch because gold is soft. Gold is soft. However, if you had it as a special occasion, I think a day date is a great special occasion watch. Just life's too short to savor this shit and museum it. Okay, life is too short. If you look, I have the same problem myself. I find it hard to wear things that I really love. In the past, I haven't always worn the Pateks as much as I should have. And I get it. But you know what? My collection now, I try and wear stuff. I do try and wear, because there's no point to have this shit if you're not going to wear the stuff. So I got to be honest with you, Yankee, you got to make of it yourself. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. If you do feel comfortable, hey, maybe that's the point. It's like having a Ferrari. A Ferrari or a Rolls Royce is not an everyday driver. You don't always go to the store. It's not made for that. But when you do use it, you really do love it. And I think that's more important. We got a super chat here now. CB, $2. One and done is day date any metal. You know, my dream watch, I got to be totally honest with you. Rolex day date, I'd have to go 40 mils now. I would have to go 40. Okay, that's just because I'm a biggish guy. I'd almost say the rose gold. I'd almost go rose gold with the chocolate dial instead of yellow gold. What would you do, Jay Anthony?
So I got a question for you in this too. So I have a friend that owns 4 different 40 mil day dates in every dial / bracelet company. He has a platinum, a white gold, a yellow gold, and then he has another different rose gold. I think I can't remember. The one with the green dial is my pick. But here's a watch that actually the ice blue is spectacular. We don't talk about though, and I have a friend that owns this watch. I don't like it. I've never told him that. What do you think of the solid gold Sky Dweller? That to me, because the day date used to be the peak of the range, but now
there's on the bracelet or on a leather.
So I have a friend who has a solid gold Sky Dweller on a
spectacular watch.
I would take the platinum blue though if I had no money. What would you do? Sky Dweller or day date?
You know what? If I was going solid gold, I would actually go ceramic Submariner.
That's an interesting one. And I would go Daytona, solid gold. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm just telling you honest. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate a day date. I mean, a day date is something that I think is special. What I like about the solid gold sub is is I think I like the blue and the yellow. I think with the bezel, ceramic bezel, it just really does pop. I mean, I really love my two-tone. I love my two-tone Submariner. And I had people say, oh, wouldn't you love a solid gold one? And I'll be honest with you, I love solid gold Submariner, but I think it's one of these things you got to decide. Look, I put my money into a solid gold. I got my World Time. That's my super watch. You see what I mean? Like, you can't, if you're super, super rich, you can have all this shit. You're whatever you want, right? But in my case, in my price point, I get a lot of joy out of my two-tone bluesy because it's so usable. I like the strength of steel with a little bit of gold on it. Okay, that's what I like. I like that. I could have actually, I had a chance. I could have actually got out of my World Time for a ceramic solid gold sub.
That's a tempting trade.
Yeah, it is tempting.
I have a question. You know, I love Rolex for the same reasons everybody else does. I view them as a extremely robust, sturdy watch. Any of their models, you know, you could drop them and they could handle it. You know, they're really rock solid, and their movements seem to be issue free. What other company makes a watch, you know, that you would call is that durable, that makes just across the line, their stuff is their movements are that sturdy, you know, that good?
I think Omega has got some good stuff there. Omega's
Okay,
got
yeah.
some really good stuff.
All
We got a
right.
super chat from CB, $5. Arch, pull up the pic. Yacht-Master is also perfect for a girl. Got one for my daughter. The Yacht-Master also, don't forget, they do it as a 37 mil. You know, they have the lady size ones. You're aware of that, Jay Anthony, aren't you?
I love that.
Yeah, to me, I know everybody likes the Submariner better, and you do too. To me, the Sky Dweller or not the Sky Dweller, the Yacht-Master is just, I don't know. I like the Yacht-Master better, and that blue dial.
I must say, I prefer the blue dial to the rhodium.
I like them both. Yeah, the blue pops.
Yeah.
The blue really does pop. I do really like that. We got a really good super chat here from Yankee Doodle, $5. I sold off and traded a bunch of watches. Rate my collection. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so he's got a Patek. He's got a Rolex 18238. That's the date.
Yep.
We've got
Classic.
a Rolex 16610. That's the sub date steel. Again, that's pre-ceramic. Beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. He's got, so we got a dress watch, we got a diver, we got a Patek 5127J. That's a 30. I owned the white gold. I actually had two fucking 51. One was actually stolen in my burglary, unfortunately, but that's another story. That's a beautiful, beautiful Patek. And he's got a Breitling Colt 40 mil. Now, that's the only thing I would be fucking getting rid of. Why would you have a Breitling fucking Colt? That's what I honestly do not understand that in the least. Why would you have a Breitling Colt?
I will push back on you because I actually like Yankee had both. I had both at the same time. The Colt feels like a better made watch than the 16610 does. It has a better bracelet, has a better bezel, has a better case back. And they're really cheap on the secondhand market. So assuming you didn't buy it new, if you did, I'm sorry. But these things used are $2,000. They're great value. And it's polished, so it's kind of shiny. I don't hate the Colt. I get it.
Okay, see, for me, I got to be totally honest with you, Jay Anthony. I'd be going Super Ocean Heritage. I think that's on the shark mesh. It's just such a fucking cool watch to have. I think that is so cool. Don't you think that's cool? Look at that.
Yeah, I do like these.
I'm not, the chronograph one's not my cup of tea, but Super Ocean Heritage, man. How could you go wrong with that?
Buying it new. That's the
I
only way
think
you can
that's
go wrong.
more. Sorry?
The only way you can go wrong with this is buying it new. Buy it used.
Yeah,
Any Breitling
buying it new.
used.
Breitling is a.
Terrible.
I don't understand the Breitling cult. Why? You like the cult? You're saying, but
If you handed that to somebody who didn't know anything about watches, they would think that's the better watch compared to the Rolex 16610. It has a better bracelet, a better bezel, a better case back. It's polished.
I like the
Feels like a watch.
16610. It's a classic. It's an iconic. I owned a 16610 and I had an 18238 at the same time.
Same.
This
Well,
is
not same.
neo vintage. This is neo vintage. I think Yankee, you got a great neo vintage collection.
I agree
you've
that the
got a
Bolt is
super
the
Yankee-
outlier. Yeah.
Yankee Doodle, $5. I love my Breitling, incredible watch. I bought it at Joma Shop for $2,500. Okay, if he loves it, that's okay.
I respect that watch.
Sure.
Breitling is amazing bang per buck on the pre-owned market.
Yes.
I think they're a great watch.
Agreed.
I think they're underrated. I think because they had all the super big cases, they kind of went out of style and people forgot about them for a bit.
Yeah, they also had the. What do you think of that plastic Breitling they released? You know, that fucking cheap shit, nasty Colt they released?
Can you pull it up? I don't know which one you're talking about.
Who's the Tudor and Breitling that just teamed up to make a new movement?
Breitling loans their B series movements to Tudor. Yeah,
They
do
did
have
a
shirt.
technology swap, Mike. They did a tech swap, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm
What was
just
it?
saying
It was the colored one. It was the Breitling, the Colt. They had a really.
I don't know
Oh,
what
the
this one is.
Colt. Yeah, the Colt. Breitling Colt.
That's the Colt.
They made quartz versions of those too.
I had a steel fish years ago. You know the steel fish?
Yep, I do. That's the deeper depth grading one. What do you think of the Breitling Emergency? That's one of that Breitling and the the B1 series. Those are the ones that I don't really get.
Yankee Doodle, $5. I don't like the oversized, over-polished Breitlings. Otherwise, they're totally cool.
You don't want a Super Avenger in like 48 mil.
No.
I know some very
I
wealthy
gotta tell
people,
you-
which is interesting. They're bought by very wealthy people, at least the ones I know that I've seen.
Which model?
What's that? Say that again?
I said, ironically, the Super Avengers that I've seen people own, the big ones or the Breitling for Bentley, are legitimately bought by super wealthy people that you would think would not be wanting to wear them. But ironically, they do attract very wealthy people.
Interesting.
We both said that. The same thing.
One of the wealthiest guys I knew had a Super Avenger with a white dial. He loved it.
CB, $5. Yesterday, my AD offered me a GMT rose gold Saru black J dial. Tried it on and it was stunning. Do you like it, Arch? Let's have a look and see what exactly is he talking about. He's talking about a Rolex. What is it? It's a Rolex Saru.
Yeah.
What the hell is he?
I've actually never seen
one
it.
of these fucking things. What do you think of that? Fuck. These would be expensive. Yesterday, my AD offered me a GMT rose gold Saru black J dial. Oh, black J dial. Sorry, let's have a look. We're going to get the right. That'd be this here. Fuck.
Are those precious stones all the way around the bezel?
Of course, yeah. Rolex Precious
yeah.
Stones Factory. Tried it on and it was stunning. Do you like it? The only problem with this watch is you can't really use the GMT function, can you? Once you've got there's no numbers in that. Can you use any of that shit then or not? Or that doesn't matter?
You
You use it like an Explorer, don't you?
Yep. this is where I go to Yankee Doodle's comment about the 18238. I don't mind wearing that daily, but this watch I'd be very self-conscious wearing every day. This watch would draw a lot of attention.
Agreed.
And you're wearing a lot of money on your wrist. I mean, not that a day-date standard one is cheap, but this is Ferrari or entry-level house money on your wrist. This would make me much more self-conscious.
In your day-to-day workings, do you see many great watches? Because most places I've worked at, people don't really have that many good watches.
No, I mean, the CEO of my company who was making $30 million a year before he retired was wearing a solid gold Pikachu on a strap. But most people that I don't see wearing watches, but in my watch community, the people that are like private business owners, they have watch collections that are worth $500,000 plus. So it's like, if you're into it and you have money, you go crazy. But a lot of corporate people don't like watches, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's a difficult hobby to have when you're not that, you don't have that big of an income. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, Jay Anthony. It's I think the biggest collections we had was in that COVID period there. You had cheap money. I don't think you will see collections that big afterwards because money is not like you think of it this way. If you can borrow $1 million at 2%, that's only $2,000 a year holding. Sorry, $20,000 a year holding costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
If interest rates are 6%, that's 60. That's $60,000 is a lot of money. $20,000 for access to $1 million is peanuts. You can take a punt on these things. You see what I mean?
I can't imagine taking out a loan for $2 million to buy a bunch of watches. That in itself just makes me sick.
No, but they put it in their business. They kind of it's cheap money. But when money becomes expensive, they say, "Oh fuck, let's get rid of these unnecessary things they've got."
Well, I have to ask you because I've never financed a watch. What do you typically pay in finance charges to buy a watch? I've never done it. Well,
the problem with watches is it's not like cars. See, cars have title. You can't really finance. It's a personal loan or it's a credit card. It's unsecured credit, isn't it? Normally speaking, there have been some companies where they offer you financing. That's always how they've sold watches, has been on credit. They've sold it to you as under payments. But I think most people these days, that's not how they buy things. They mainly buy things now. It's unsecured credit, isn't it? Like a credit card or a HELOC, or you have access to funds. You got to remember, the amount of money someone spends on a car or a watch, that isn't necessarily cash. That's how much money they've got access to. It's not necessarily their money. You see what I'm saying?
Well, there's a few of us out there, Archie, that work hard and stash money away and wait a long time until we have enough, and then we finally go and get what we want. There's still those people out there as well.
We got a super chat. Yes, super chat. William Gaudrian, €2. I emailed my two-piece collection. I think it's nice. Let me see if I can find it. Depends if I'm in a different module. I'll see if I get it up. Let's have a look. Which email address did he send it to? And he sent it to my other. I'll have a look. Just hang on. I've got to log in and I'll have a look there. I mean, Jay Anthony, I think most people, if the auto industry didn't have financing, it would collapse tomorrow. You realize that?
I think it is collapsing right now. A lot of these $100,000 pickup trucks in the U.S. are sitting on the lot like they should. It's crazy how much people.
That is fucking ridiculous that people have to buy such expensive stuff like that. You know what I mean?
To your point about getting rid of cars, I don't think it's so much they got rid of the cars, but everything now starts at like 30-40% more than they used to sell base models for. There are no cheap cars anymore. Who's buying this stuff?
No, okay. This is William Gaudrian's collection, 2-piece. He's got an 18238 1995 Vigonet dial. That's the starburst type dial, red. And he's got a Pepsi 126710. It's a modern Pepsi. Let's bring this up on the screen. We'll have a look at this. And I'd be honest with you, this is actually quite a nice 2-piece collection. What more do you need?
That red dial is rare.
Need?
That's a great choice. Yeah.
Wow.
That red dial. Awesome.
Love it. That you could just stop right there. You could just stop right there and
So Archie, actually, question for you.
pick up a new hobby.
Yes.
Do you get more joy out of the Pateks than the Rolexes? Because I got to be honest, as much as I like my Patek, if it's sitting next to the day date goes on the wrist before the Patek goes on the wrist. The day date feels more special than the Patek does. What do you think?
Look, I think the thing is, right, I actually I had a 5196 like you did. I sold it and actually got the World Time. Look, I got to be honest with you. The Rolex itself, there is a very strong argument. I've always come back to Rolex because Rolex is so versatile. It's waterproof. It's just, I don't know what it is with Rolex. But I got to tell you, I think for special occasions, the Patek is really, really fucking cool. The Patek, you can't beat the Patek. You know, the thing I love about the Patek is like your 5196, it's not the most expensive in many ways. That's the base Patek, right?
Yeah.
But with Patek, it's not about price. It's just so classy. It exudes class. It's not about being a complication or this. It's just a beautiful Patek. And I think that's the charm of it. I really think with Pateks themselves there, I've actually contemplated this, Jay Anthony. Should I get rid of my Patek? Because it's a lot of money. You know, you think, could I use it in a better way? I will be totally honest with you. I am fucking envious of people like Yankee Doodle. He's worked out, what does he want? Look what he's got. He's got a day date. He's got a Submariner. He's got a Patek. And he's also got a Breitling as a beater, right? Those four, he doesn't need anything. His journey is complete. You understand? Like he's done the full circle. And I honestly, I would say to myself, I would really love to be in a spot where I'm happy with a small. I actually really, really would like to downsize eventually. Okay, I do. I really do. Now, admittedly, the market's a bit fucked now. It's hard to, you know, as you know, with your Panerai, fuck. Do you give it away or do you hold on to it? Fuck. You know, I don't think I would have sold it that cheap personally. I get what you're saying, but I got to be honest with you. Personally, I'm envious of someone who has a small 3 or 4-piece collection because it just, I got to tell you, what do I fucking think? You know, I got to be honest with you. I think the bluesy is my everyday go-to. I could go through traveling on a plane. You could use this everywhere. I love my Explorer 2. That's another fantastic travel watch. I love that.
Yep.
Okay. I probably I got my Speedy. I love a manual wind chronograph with no date. I love that. Okay. Everything else I got, do I really need it? You know what? The Breguet is a lot of money. I'm thinking of maybe pissing that off because it's not that. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I look at this stuff and say, you know, what else could I do with that money? Would give me more like in my case, reduce some debt and have some buffer. That'd be much more sensible than having a fucking watch I don't even wear that. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. The Patek itself, I got the World Time. Now that's something I could sell and get my money back, possibly make a little bit. That's a fantastic watch. Fantastic watch. I'm just not ready. The thing that scares me is I may not be able to get into it easily, as easy as I can get out of it. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. Especially when you buy stuff
yeah,
years ago, you can't get it back.
I totally agree with. Look. I totally get it. I totally get it. I would actually. I'll be honest with you. I would like to scale down to about 3 or 4 watches. I really would. And I don't know if I really need precious metal that much. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. Like, the problem with the Patek is it's flawed. Like, you're in fucking Texas, aren't you? Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking hot in Texas.
Yes, leather straps are. Yep.
You know, it's kind of the Submariner. I sweat. I can just rinse it in the tap, under the tap when I brush my teeth. You know what I mean? It's so convenient. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's why I want a strap watch.
And I love this watch. If I want a time, like often I'll cook vegetables or cook some rice, I'll just set the timer. Because then you think, oh, how long has that been on the stove? Oh, you just look at your timer. You know what I mean? I love that. That's really useful. I got to tell you, seriously, I'd like to scale back. I really would. I would love to scale back.
What's stopping you? As we say in the business, unless you put a date on it, it's never going to happen. So give me a date by when you're going to start selling stuff off.
The market's a bit tough. It's very tough at the moment. Market's tough. Tough. You know, market is tough.
May of next year, you're going to start selling stuff off? What do you think?
I don't know. Like, they're kind of a bit of a security blanket. I kind of like them. You know, I got many kind of, I kind of, yeah, it's a strange thing. It's a strange thing to describe. I got another super chat, Yankee Doodle, $5. I was having coffee at Starbucks today and observing people, most dressed like shit and wore shitters. Garbage. Well, that's kind of the way society is now. It's casualized. You know, society is what it is. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, people, as long as they're clean and that there, I don't know if that's a terrible thing. Most people, but I mean, that's the thing, you know, Jay Anthony, you can always wear a day date with jeans and joggers, can't you? You doesn't have to.
I do. I wear it with t-shirts, but I'm sure Yankee may not like that.
William Gaudrian, €2. I don't have a loan, nothing. Don't like that. I don't have a loan, nothing. Don't like that. Okay, yeah, he doesn't. Well, that's exactly it there. It's not good to have loans.
I love that day date. That's probably my favorite day date I've seen in a long time. Legitimately, I love the red dial. It
is a cool piece. You certainly can't criticize it, can you? What do you think of that? It's a beautiful piece. What a fucking nice watch. I mean, you can see I kind of sometimes I get inspired by the thing that holds me back is I actually look at photos of watches I own and I think, oh, that's so cool. And if you don't put a date on it, it's not going to happen. That's what you're saying to me. If you don't put a date on it, it'll never happen.
So when I tell my team, when we talk about accomplishing anything at work, I'm like, unless you're going to give me a date for it, like you tell me when you're going to have it done, and I make them give me a date for anything. Because if there's no date, there's no timeline, it's never going to happen. So to me, if you're serious about doing anything, you should commit to a date. And we'll keep you accountable, right? You have an audience, you're signing up for it, you're basically signing a contract. Let's just say you want to get a day date. So this day date to me is, I'm biased because I own one. The last real day date, it has the brush lugs before they were super high polished. Let's get you this time next year into a day date by decreasing your overall debt and reducing your collection to 3 pieces. Let's do that. Can you do it?
I'm not sure. I am actually thinking of doing a few things. I've got to Yankee Doodle, $2. I think a day date and t-shirt is a great look. There we go, Yankee Doodle. And that's the fun with a day date. You can dress up or dress it down. You don't have to do anything you don't feel comfortable with. You can do whatever you like with these things. And Mike, do you still wear your good watches when you ride your motorbike?
I've been wearing my orange monster lately, and
Okay.
I have a very heavy leather jacket with a zipper that zips up really tight around my wrist. So yeah, I wear it when I ride.
What do you think of those airbag jackets? Are they good?
Oh, amazing! They've saved so many collarbones. It's not even funny in racing.
Oh, is that right?
When you're a racer and you go down, it's probably one of the most common injuries because you land, kind of head first and your shoulder goes into the ground and you break your collarbone, and it's a real popular breakage. And these airbag suits, sense weird, G-forces and angular things, and they'll poof open before you hit the ground and save you. It's just they're amazing.
Quick side question for you, Archie. Have you ever seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross? Do you know what that is?
Yes. Yes. You see this watch? This watch is more than your car. He's a bit of an arrogant shit, isn't it? Yes, I drove up in a $60,000, $80,000 BMW.
8 Series.
Was it an 8 Series?
Yeah, it was an 8 Series. You should. I know you want an 8 Series. You want a day date. Use that movie as motivation. Come on, let's set the goal. That's such a good scene.
He was selling swampland in Florida.
Yeah.
That movie, the leads. I want the premium leads. The premium leads.
I think Archie.
Could you sell a product you don't believe in? I find it hard to sell something I don't believe in.
Me personally, no. But I meet people all the time to do.
That's why I couldn't sell timeshare. Could you sell timeshare?
No. It's a terrible, terrible product. Well, you did used to be part of timeshare. You're telling me, right?
No.
Was it
I just find timeshare. I just find it like it has no value really. Like people, you can't even get it. You're legally obligated. I mean, it's unsellable.
Yeah.
And what happens is the management fees are often more expensive than if you rented something anywhere else.
And if you have a property in Florida right now, you're totally screwed because every building is going bankrupt now since Florida changed regulations on shared units. People's HOA fees have gone up from like $100 a month to $4,000 a month.
Wow.
So $300 a month to $4,000 a month?
So there was I don't know if you've watched this. There was the
building that collapsed. The building that collapsed. That was a fucking disaster.
It was a disaster, and Florida responded.
How the fuck could something like that collapse? That's just lack of maintenance.
It was also built in shady ways. So they cheated and added a hash story on top of it. It had terrible maintenance issues. They overloaded the pool deck. There was water leakage, rotting out concrete rebar. The whole thing is just a shit show. But the Florida government, to their credit, trying to do the right thing, put in much stronger maintenance standards for buildings, and they gave buildings very little time to catch up on deferred maintenance. So all these buildings now that are 40 years old, I think it's actually 25 or older now, are charging all their residents crazy amounts of money in special assessments to catch up. And these people that live in these buildings are retirees with no income, and they're literally losing their houses right now. So it's a perfect storm. So if you own a timeshare in one of those buildings, because there's a lot of those, your maintenance fees just quadrupled. So yeah, that would be really bad.
Fuck.
It's kind of a
People
shit
have
storm.
lost their building. They retire. They can't afford to pay it. So the homeowners association sells them up.
Yeah, they're on a fixed income and their
Let me
HOA
guess, they're
payment.
not worth much with these high fees anyhow, are they?
No, they bought them for like 200K in the 80s, and now they can't afford to live there anymore.
And what are they worth? But what are they worth? $1 million or something?
During COVID, they're worth a lot, but since the whole mortgage rates have gone up, and then this whole condo situation has gone up, they're plummeting in value. They're like unloadable. Nobody wants to buy them because the buildings are like deferred maintenance and have a bunch of special assessments. It's a perfect mess.
CB's got a comment here, $5. I went diving with the Day and rode my Harley Davidson all the time. The vibrations cracked the class. Shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. And with the Day, that's actually a rose gold clasp, isn't it? I think it's rose gold in color, isn't it? I think the clasp is rose gold from memory.
The one on mine's yellow. I'm sure there's different.
No, the actual shears itself, the actual part that folds in, that clasp.
Oh, is it? I'd have to look at it. You probably know more than me.
And it's time to end. We got Doc joining us. Doc is joining us just as we're going to wrap up the show.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm good. I mostly just wanted to come on to defend Mikey because I was out and about, but I don't know if AD Never Calling is still in the chat. But Mikey had thanked him several times for that Mont Blanc pen. Wasn't it a Mont Blanc, Mikey?
Oh yeah, no, he said he was joking in another post after that.
Okay, so he knew you had thanked him properly. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, in a couple posts after that, he said something. At least I believe I read that. Yeah,
because I remember you were going to try to contact him, and the only way to contact him was WhatsApp, and you don't do WhatsApp, so you just did it on the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very grateful to him for that.
Sorry for interrupting the show for that. Then.
No worries.
Mike,
no worries.
We love that. And we got Rodent 3.0, $2. Arch, I met your friend GJ for drinks last night.
GJ.
Fantastic. That's the guy who's got the Blue Dial perpetual calendar Patek. Lovely.
What country is he in?
I don't know, because he was in Singapore when I met him, but he also, I don't know. I honestly
well, of course,
don't
Rodent
know.
3, he's all over the world with his
He's all over the world.
He may be in Singapore right now.
Guys, I want to thank everybody. Before you do that, please upvote. We need you to upvote. We need some upvotes. We need you to upvote. The upvotes help the algorithm and make the show popular. And I got to tell you guys, we need your support. Without the support, if you can't super chat, at least upvote the show. And
that is a nice looking date, isn't it?
It is. He's got
it's
a
spectacular.
Great day. Guys, let's go through our list here and thank everyone. Oh yes, $2, €2, William Gaudrian. Yes, the clasp is rose gold. That's what I thought. Let's go through the list of people and thank them. We had Andreas, Basil's Bezels, Ice Cubitus, CB, Ice Cubitus, CB, Ice Cubitus, AD never calling, CB, AD never calling, Ice Cubitus, Drill Phil Bill, Yankee Doodle, CB, Yankee Doodle, CB, William Gaudrian, Yankee Doodle, William Gaudrian, Yankee Doodle, CB, Rodent 3.0, William Gaudrian, and Ron Mexico, a new super chat, $2. Nice one, Arch. Guys, that is the show for today. We
Thank
will
you,
be
Ron
back.
Mexico.
Please check out the J. Anthony channel. Also, Marco, check out Marco as well. He's got some great. What's the name of his channel? So J. Anthony is J. Anthony Watches. Check that out. That's where you got to go. J. Anthony Watches. And for Marco, it's Berndeens, Burdeens Jewelry. Berndeens Jewelry. You can see an update of his collection. Guys, that's the show for today. We will see you tomorrow.